All right. So this chapter is actually quite dry. I would say very dry. So we will look at this is the fundamental of Abhidhamma by said Dr. Nandamala. Right, I think you all have the book. This chapter is the Bhikkhu Bodhi Comprehensive Manual of Abhidhamma. So I hope you all have purchased the book or print yourself already. Another book will be this is a Handbook of Abhidhamma. Right, it's a book 3. Okay, so because today the chapter actually is quite dry, I would say quite dry. So when I look at it, I also don't know how to teach you all. So I was thinking that to make it interesting, we will read the 3 books at one time. Of course, not going to read all because it's impossible. We are going to get the main point and then try to see how much can we understand. And I will refer to some of the, let's say, asava. What is asava? What is yoga? We will go for sutta reading. Okay, so hopefully maybe we can finish the chapter in um, 2 months. Yeah, with the Chinese New Year holiday and so on. Okay, now I will read first. Later, I will invite you all to read. All right. I will read the fundamental of Abhidhamma because it's easiest to read. And this is we call it in our university, we are actually using this one to teach because it's easier to understand. This chapter is called Chapter 9, Samuccaya Sangaha. Right, Compendium of Category, 72 Dhammas. In this chapter, the Paramattha Dhammas. Okay, remember when we see the Pali, you have to remember the Pali. The meaning of Pali means ultimate truth, ultimate realities, which we already cover in our very first chapter. So here is, even though it's at the chapter 9, so we have to remember what we learned on the first chapter. Chitta, Cetasika, Lupa, and Nibbana. Right? Chitta, consciousness, Cetasika, mental factor, Lupa, matter, body, Nibbana is actually enumerated into 72 from the point of their characteristics. Chitta is 1. Right? There were explanation down there. Cetasika is 52. Rupa 18. Nibbana is 1. Altogether 72. All right? So in terms of Paramattha Dhammas, if people ask you how many Paramattha Dhammas, the answer is 72. Okay? 1, 52, 18, 8, 72. That's why to tell a jokes, if you are really want to be good Abhidhamma, you must be good in mathematics as well. Right? So chitta is divided into 89 or 1 to 1 according to plan, etc. All right. So in the chapter of chitta, we already see they are plan, they are according to jhana, according to object, and so on. Okay. But all types of chitta have only one characteristic as the awareness of an object. So if you print out the book, please highlight this very important word, awareness. I'll make it bigger. Awareness. Because no matter how many chitta it is, the main thing is it aware the object. Even like eye consciousness, aware of sight. Ear consciousness, aware of seeing. Like javana, aware of javana and so on. Okay, so that's an important thing. Awareness. So just you need to highlight. Let's say if you have print out the book, you just kind of like highlight like this. Okay, or if you have PDF file later, you highlight. So from the point of characteristic, chitta is count as 1. So you have this number 1. Okay. Cetasika I enumerated into 52. Now remember we have 52 cetasika, so we have 52. Because each of them has its own characteristic. Alright. So you have 1 chitta, cetasika 52. So we got 53. Rupa here is enumerated into 18. Normally we say 28, so here no, it's only 18 because only 18 Nibbana. So remember the Nibbana, some later the Bhikkhu Bodhi book translated as a concrete matter. Sometimes the meaning is real matter. The matter they are really form, real matter. Nibbana is only one according to its characteristic as the perfect peace. So altogether, you calculate 72. Right? So for this chapter, this is the first number. I think this is the most important number that you all should remember. Let's say if in terms of meditation, right? So yes, we cannot the chitta because when you are aware during meditation, you know that your mind has the awareness, and you know your greed, hatred, delusion, all this arise as a cetasika and it color the mind. Rupa is is object for the chitta as well. Nibbana, you cannot meditate unless you have realized Nibbana, but you can think about Nibbana is a peace, perfect peace here. All right, so okay, now there's a next chapter. All right, so we are going to look at this Bhikkhu Bodhi book. Bhikkhu Bodhi book is good because it includes the original Pali, not original Pali, the commentary by Venerable Anuruddha. Anuruddha wrote this sub commentary. Actually, this is according to sub commentary. All right, the Pali. So for those who are very keen to learn Pali, so basically you have the book, you just have to analyze which Pali words, which is the corresponding, which is its corresponding English. For example, dua is a 2, satta is 20, vida is a characteristic, category, uda has been described, watu dhamma entities, sa with lakkhana characteristic, right? Tesam dia dani here, yadau yugam applicable, pawakami I will say samuchayam, right? So if you are a Pali student, you all should try to analyze by yourself. Okay, now this is actually same. Okay, all right. So we don't get much information here. All right, I think we going to for the another book. Sorry, can it's a little bit jam here. Okay, so this is the book. All right. Now, okay, right. I think it's same. Now here, according to this book, just now we say the rupa is 18. The first 18 are real rupas. The others are not real rupas. They are not the object of vipassana meditation. Here, as a category of vipassana meditation, they are excluded. So the 18 of the 28 material properties are taken here. All right. So they explain the terms like just now why we say 18. Because these 18, remember in the when we study rupa, this is considered real rupa and they can be taken as an object of vipassana meditation. So altogether, if you think about your meditation minus the nibbana, they are actually 71. Okay. All right. Any question here before I continue to the next one? Okay. So now we are going to different group already. So the Samuchaya Sangaha comprises 4 compendium. Akusala Sangaha, right? Misaka. Akusala is unwholesome. Misaka is a mix. Bodhi Pakaya. All right. Bodhi is a enlightenment. Pakaya is requisite. Means that the factors that lead to enlightenment. So this chapter will be helpful for those who want to know which factors can lead to enlightenment. Sabba Sangaha. This is more towards the like 5 aggregates and so on. Okay. So now we are going to first group Kusala Sangaha, right? Okay, so I'll invite one student to read. Okay. Vera Oi, can you read the English and Pali?
Yeah, thank you, Saji.
Okay.
Akusala Sangaha. In this Sangaha, the 14 Akusala Chitasikas are classified into 9 categories. There are 14 Akusala Chitasikas. Moha, Ahirika, Anutapa, Udacha, Loba, Diti, Mana, Dosa, Isa, Macharia, Kukucha, Tinamida, Vichikicha. The 14 Akusala Chitasikas are classified into 9 categories. 1. Asava, flux. 2. Oga, flood. 3. Yoga, born. 4. Ganta, knot. 5. Upadana, clinging. 6. Nivarana, hindrance. 7. Anusaya, latency. 8. Samyojana, factor. 9. Kilesa, defilements.
Okay. So this is the Pali and English. So we also can have different translation. So for example, this asawa, there are other translation like tens, canker, all right? So it's good when we learn the Pali, we learn the other possible translation, like not clinging. So anusaya. Okay, so sometimes we have different translation. We call it lantern. They call it lantern tendency. All right. Fetters, defilements. Now, normally when you look at the text, you always see the word defilements, defilement, defilements. Sometimes actually, even like Asawa, they translate as the defilements. But actually, in Abhidhamma, defilements is direct translation for this word klesa. All right. So klesa, there's one form. That another form actually is Klesa. All right. When then after that there's an insertion of I, so it become Klesa. All right. So different way of writing. So Asawa plus. Sometimes we don't use the word plus anymore. Nowadays people use the word kangers or tens, right? So Oga, Yoga, Ganda, Upadana. So you all see the five aggregates, the aggregate of clinging. So you're familiar with this word, Upadana. Nivarana, I think you're all also familiar because of in meditation we always talk about Nivarana. Okay, and so on. Right, we are going to the first one already. Okay, let's look at the Bhikkhu body book first. Okay, now you can see it's same here, Akusala and Misaka here, same. Okay, okay, now let's go for the first one, Asawa. Okay, Thomas, can you read the Asawa?
Asava. Asava flux is divided into four. Kamasava, craving for sensual pleasure that is in a state of flux. Bhavasava, craving for the life of Rupa and Arupa Brahmas that is in a state of flux. Ditthasava, wrong view that is in a state of flux. And avijjasava, ignorance that is in a state of flux. Herein, asava is a term for the three akusala cetasikas, lobha, ditthi, and moha. As asava, lobha is divided into two, kamasava and bhavasava.
Okay, now can you identify there are three Chetasika here, Lobha, Ditti, Moha. So Kamasawa is which one? Thomas?
Lo, lobha.
Okay, so for those who print out, so you just need to write here. Okay, the first one is Lobha. Yes, how about Bawasawa?
Craving for the life of Rupa and Arupa is also lobha. Craving is greed.
Okay, yes. Okay, next one, Diktasawa. Do you know
Ditthasava.
how to divide the word? Do you know?
I-
Diktasawa?
It's ditthi, which is wrong view,
Yes, okay.
and
As-
asava, the subject we're
Okay,
talking
right.
about.
Yes. So Dikti plus Asawa. So Dikti is which is what kind of Chetasika?
Dosa.
No, Dikti is not dosa. Dikti is here, this one.
Moha. Yeah, it is delusion, moha.
No, Dikti is Dikti. Here.
It's Chetasika on its own. Yes, right.
Okay, okay. All right. Then the next one
Uh-huh.
will be Asawa will
Avijjasava.
be.
Ignorance is delusion.
So it's a which Chitasika? You can see the answer here, you know. There's an answer
Yeah,
here
it's
already.
moha.
Okay, right, yes. So that's how we learn, all right? First, we learn the terms in Abhidhamma. Then you, for those who print out the book or whatever, you try to write down the ultimate realities because here mentioned already is Lobha, Ditti, and Moha. So karma, craving for sensual pleasure. So the word karma, K long A, karma is sensual pleasure, right? Then bhava is a lupa alupa, right? This is not talking about human, it's talking about lupa alupa Brahma, all right? Is beyond the human life. So we can take it karma sava refer to normal craving in our human society, human life. And for those who, even though they get to the higher jhana, they're born as a lupa alupa Brahma, they still have craving. But this kind of craving called bhava sava because they want to enjoy the Brahma life. And even that they might thought they are their lives forever, you know. So DT is a wrong view here. Asava, then the next one is avijja. Avijja is just ignorance. Okay. Now here this book didn't mention much information, so we look at the okay. So I'm going to close this. Okay. Okay, now the Bhikkhu Bodhi book, can you all see the screen? Can now it explain more about this word asava. All right. So next student, Subang, can you read this one? Subang, yes.
Which one? Teens. Can you show?
This one, guide 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The word asava means literally that which flows out. In Pali, the word denotes both pus oozing from an abscess or intoxicants which have been fermented for a long time. The defilements classified as stains are called asavas because they are similar to oozing pus and to fermented intoxicants. The commentary states that the asavas were so called because they flow right up to the topmost plane of existence, or because they flow up to change of lineage, growth tabu. Of the four taints, the taints of sensual desire and the taints of attachment to existence are both modes of the Chittasikas greed, lobha, directed in the one case to sense pleasures, in the other to continue existence. The taint of wrong view is identified as the Chittasika wrong view, ditti, and the taints of ignorance as the Chittasika delusion, moha.
Okay, thank you. All right. So this guide 3 first try to explain the word. What's the meaning of asava? So which means flows out, right? It's like burst oozing out and intoxicant. So actually here given here. So when we learn this asava, you try to remember there are two simile. So the first one is like burst oozing is coming out very dirty one, smelly one. And another one is a fermented intoxicant. So you can say like beings are intoxicated with craving and so on. You can use the terms here. So because the commentary here, they flows right up to topmost plane of existence. It's because that means that this asava cover even human world, even like just I mentioned the lupa, alupa, brahma. So that means that it all the way to the topmost, to the alupa, the highest 31 planes. And because they flow up to change of lineage, okay? Change of lineage means that this happened just before enlightenment. So just before enlightenment, there's also this asava. And this part is explain about this part, which is a lobha ditti moha. So in ultimate realities, asava is only three cetasika. Okay, three akusala cetasika: lobha, ditti, moha, greed, wrong view, and this delusion, ignorance. All right, delusion is better. Use the word moha. Okay, so that's how we learn asava. So from Abhidhamma viewpoint, we know the terms karma, kama sawa, bhava sawa, dita sawa, avijasava. So when we learn the Abhidhamma, the first thing you learn that is you remember the word asawa, then you remember the category here, the items here, kamasawa, bhawasawa, ditasawa, avijasawa. That's how we learn. Like for example, in our time we have to repeat this one: kamasawa, bhawasawa, ditasawa, avijasawa. Then the next thing we learn is what is ultimate reality. These are three akusala cetasika: lobha, ditthi, moha. All right. And we also need to know the terms of asawa means just like what is flows out, similar to oozing pearls, fermented intoxicants. All right. So there are even like short not like this, there are few points to understand. All right. Okay. So after this, we're going to look at the next book. So this is the Usilananda. Okay. All right. Okay, now we can read this one because it's much more, because this is the book that this actually transcribed from his Dhamma talk. He was giving this Dhamma talk, I think, more than 3 years in America. So they transcribe it so it's easy to understand. Okay, so next student will read it. Shinli, can you read this one? Asawa.
The first group is the asavas. There are 4 asavas. What are the asavas? In the CMA, it is translated as taints, 4 taints. Sometimes the word asawa is translated as cankers. Some also translate it as flux. The name asawa originally was the word for intoxicating drink, fermented drink. When you want to make an intoxicating drink, you have to ferment it. You have to make it for a long time. So the asavas are like intoxicating drinks, meaning that they have long been with us. They have been with us for a very long time, from an unknown beginning. And they will be with us until we reach arahantship or Buddhahood. The asavas have been with us all this time, and therefore are something like fermented. The asavas, lobha, ditthi, moha, are always with us. Here, the meaning is those that are like fermented drinks. The other meaning is flowing, flowing out. If you have a sore, you may have discharges like blood or pus from the sore. In the same way, lobha, ditthi, moha flow out of the 6 doors. When we see something with attachment, that means lobha is flowing out of the eye door. When we hear something and we like it or dislike it, lobha or dosa is flowing out of the ear door. They are like discharges from sores. So they are called asavas.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Also, they are
Yes, continue. Yes.
called asavas because by way of realms, they arise up to the highest realm. They arise even in Nevasanya, Nasanya, Yatana, fourth Arupa Vachara realm. By way of Dhamma, they can take as object up to Gotrabhu. What is the object of Lopa? Do you remember the 3rd chapter? All mundane chittas, chittasikas, and rupa are the objects of Lopa. Lopa can take all mundane chittas, chetasikas, and rupa as object. That means it can even take Gotrabhu and Vodana as object. Vodana is the chitta that precedes the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th magas. By way of realm, it flows up to the highest realm. By way of Dhamma, it flows up to Gotrabhu. So it is called Asawa.
Okay, so I think it's clear about the meaning of asawa. So here is just say that is a here at first telling us the definition. First is a cankers, tens, and so on. Then the other uh the the original meaning of asava is intoxicating drink, fermented drink. So this is example of sava. Another example is flowing out like blood bursts from the soul, right? So like loba diti moha coming out from the sixth sense door, right? So the next paragraph is saying that they are all the way towards all the realms, highest realm and so on, and also up to the Gotrabu. This means that they will happen even just before enlightenment and so on. Okay. So there are some added note here. I think that's enough. So any question about this asava? It's very easy. You just remember kama, bawa, ditti, avijja, or kama sawa, bawa sawa, ditta sawa, avijja sawa. All right. So to remember the Pali, you just have to recite again. Okay. Kama sawa, bawa sawa, ditta sawa, avijja sawa, loba, ditti, moha here. Now, the next one actually Oga. Right? So Oga, now the terms is only flood. It's divided into four. Okay. Kama plus Oga. All right. Same. You see the word Kama, bawa, ditti, avijja. But here kamoga, bawoga, ditoga, avijoga, right? Now you notice that this one actually similar with the earliest one, all right? So earlier one you have kama, bawa, ditti, avijja. Here also kama, bawa, ditti, avijja. Is also three akusala chitasika, same, all right? So in ultimate realities is still same like just now. So kama means craving for sensual pleasure that floods. Bawa, bawoka, craving for life in lupa alupa. Brahma that floods. Ditoga, wrong view that is in the state of flood. Avijoga, ignorance that is in the state of flood. So here, the ultimate reality is same like just now. Three akusa chitasika. So same as above. Loba. So kama, this one is a loba. Bawa is also loba. Ditti is ditti. Avijja is moha. So if you print out the book, you just have to write like just now. This is a loba. Loba. So this is a ditti with a dot dot. Cannot type. Yeah. And the next one will be moha. Okay. So it's like just now. Okay. Loba, loba, ditti, and moha. Same like just now. But here is why do we use the different terms? Okay, because when the Buddha give Dhamma talk, sometimes during the Dhamma talk, the Buddha will use hangers or tents or flags, asawa. Sometimes the Buddha will give Dhamma talk on oga, flat. All right. So different Dhamma talk will have different definition, but in ultimate this is still loba, ditti, and moha. Okay, now we are going to look at the okay. So the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma didn't give much information, just put the word, only the definition of Pali Chattalo Oga 4. Okay. Now we are going to look at the another book. Okay. Chai Hun, can you read this one? Chai Hun.
Okay. The next group is the organs. There are four organs. Orga is translated as flood Again, Loba, Dikti, and Moha are called flood or ogres because they overwhelm beings. Also, they can take beings with them down to the four woeful states, or they can make beings sink down to the four woeful states. Therefore, they are called ogre. When there's flood, it takes everything with it and makes things sink or drown. In the same way, Loba, Diti, and Moha, when they arise, can take beings down to the four woeful states. So they are called ogre. There are four ogres, so the flood can be very devastating. A few years ago, there were floods in other states in this country. Even a whole house was taken by the flood and floated down the river. And also there were floods in California. So it is easy to see how dangerous these floods are. Loba, Diti, and Moha are more dangerous than these floods.
Okay, so the meaning of Olga is flat. All right, so here explain here. First, they can take beings down to the four woeful states. That means that if the greed is so strong, people might kill and steal. When the wrong view is so strong and moha delusion is so strong, they can take the beings to the four woeful states, and they make things sink and drown. Right. So the Olga means Loba, Dikti, Moha. So you notice that the Olga is same with Asawa. All right. Asawa and Olga is same. In ultimate realities, it's only three: Akusala, Cetasika, Loba, Diti, Moha. So that's the definition of Olga. And let me go for one sutta. Right. Now you see in the Tipitaka, right, like this Asawa. You can see in the Majjhima Nikaya, this Asawa. But even though it's written as Pali as Asawa, it's translated as defilements. Okay? So that's why we always look at the Pali to see what's the actual translation, not just defilement, it's a tense and so on. And there's another sutta called this is one of the very famous sutta. It's the very first sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya, okay, called Oga here, Tarana, crossing the flood, right? So you can see when Buddha give Dhamma talk, sometimes he used the word asawa, like this Majjhima Nikaya, second middle length book, number 2, the book is using the word asawa, but the Samyutta Nikaya, the book number 1 is called Oga, crossing the flood, right? Now, it's actually quite interesting to read this sutta. Next one, Sister Chong Pat Lan. Can you read this one?
Which one?
This one?
Sorry,
This one.
which
Can
one?
you see, can you see the screen here?
Okay, the translator's note, is it?
No, this part, this part. I have heard.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have heard that on one occasion, the Blessed One was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anatta Pindika's monastery. Then a certain devata in the far extreme of the night, her extreme radiance lighting up the entirety of Jeta's grove, went to the Blessed One. On arrival, having bowed down to him, she stood to one side. As she was standing there, she said to him, "Tell me, dear sir, how you crossed over the flood." "I crossed over the flood without pushing forward. I was whirled about. When I stayed in place, I sank. And so I crossed over the flood without pushing forward, without staying in place." The Devata: "At long last, I see a Brahman, totally unbound, who without pushing forward, without staying in place, he crossed over the entanglement of the world." Is there
Okay, all right.
any more? I can't see any.
It's okay, it's okay, okay. So here in this sutta is
Thank
one
you.
Devata. Yeah, thank you very much. Devata come and ask the Buddha, how you cross the flood, Oga, Then the Buddha say he give the answer, okay, without pushing forward, without staying in the place, all right? When he pushed forward, he was wheeled around. When he stayed in place, he sank. So he crossed over the flood without pushing forward and without staying in place. So here is the sutta we read like this, we doesn't really understand. The commentary actually give more explanation. But the key point is when the Buddha talk about flood, right? The Deva will not come and ask the Buddha about what is flood. The Buddha will not answer the normal flood. It's actually talking about this kind of oga defilements. All right. So like just now, loba, ditti, moha. So this is from this sutta you can see. Because oga can bring sink to the four woeful states, and they makes everything sink and drown. So that's the meaning of oga. Flood is actually very strong because here in Myanmar is regularly we have flood. So our place is actually last year is I stay here more than 10 years. But last year the flood was actually quite heavy, even though it's not so heavy, but at least it reached the kitchen. It never reached the kitchen in 10 years. Now it reached the kitchen floor already. Okay, so let's go back to Abhidhamma. Okay, so anyway, remember Asawa is 3 akusala cetasika. Oga is also 3 akusala cetasika. So it's always loba, ditti, moha. So at the end of this lesson, maybe you cannot remember anything, but at least you should remember there are 3 akusala cetasika, loba, ditti, moha for asawa and for oga. So these two are same in ultimate realities. Then the next one also yoga. Okay, yoga is also same. You notice that Pali is same. Okay, kama, bawa, ditti, avijja. So it's same here. Here is kama yoga, bawa yoga, ditti yoga, avijja yoga. So kama yoga, ultimate realities is same, loba, craving for sensual pleasure that is in the state of bound. Yoga means something that tie you in. All right. So later we will look at the other explanation. Bhava yoga, craving for the life of Lupa and Alupa Brahmas that is in a state of bound. So it's also Loba, okay? And then Ditti will be this one, Ditti yoga. Wrong view that is in the state of bound. And Avijja with the yoga, ignorance that is state of bound. So this means that here you find that the Asawa, Oga, Yoga, they are same. There are 3 akusala cetasika, loba, ditti, moha for these three Abhidhamma point. Okay, Asawa, Oga, Yoga, same. Right. So in some of the sutta, you can see this sutta is in the Anguttara Nikaya. All right. So this is called Yoga Sutta, Yogs. Okay. So there are explanation here. So I think there's a lot we will not read it. So you can see that different sutta already explained here. So let's look at the okay, this is a yoga. Okay, now there's only one explanation here. They are called bounds yoga because they yoke beings to suffering and do not allow them to escape. This means that they yoke the being to suffering. Okay, so there's only one explanation here. What is this yoga? So this Handbook of Abhidhamma, another book, third book. Okay. Okay, next student. Sister Sumitra Khan, you can read this one, please. Yes.
There are four bonds: the bond of sensual desire, the bond of attachment to existence, the bond of wrong view, and the bond of ignorance. They are the same as asavas. They are called bonds because they attach beings to samsara. They don't let beings get out of samsara. The student said they tie beings to samsara. Sayadaw said tying is ganta. We will come to gantas also. Sometimes the translator translates gantas as knots. It is translated as knot here. You know, when you put the ox to the cart, you yoke it. So yoga is yoking beings to samsara. These three yoke us to samsara. So long as there are these three, one cannot get out of samsara. So long as the bullock is yoked, it cannot get away. It must go on and on. Similarly, we must go on and on as long as we have three yogas. There are four in numbers: Karma Yoga, Bhava Yoga, Ditti Yoga, and Avijja Yoga. They mean the same thing: attachment to objects of sense, attachment to existence, wrong view, and ignorance. Karma Yoga is Lobha. Bhava Yoga is Lobha. Ditti Yoga is Ditti. Avijja Yoga is Moha. In reality, there are three yogas. They are Lobha, Ditti, and Moha.
Okay, thank you. So, Sam, the answer still come to Sam. Loba, Ditti, Moha. Okay. Right. So, Asava, Oga, Yoga, ultimately is Loba, Ditti, Moha. So, these are Sam. Now, the next one is not Sam anymore. All right. So, the next one is Ganda. Okay, next student. Sister Go, can you read this one? Sister Go.
Yeah. Ganta. Ganta means knot. It knots the mental body to the physical body. So it is called Kaya Ganta. That Ganta is divided into four: Abhijja, Kaya Ganta. Covetousness that knots the two bodies. Vyapada Kaya Ganta. Hatred that knots the two bodies. Silabata Paramasa Kaya Ganta. Misconception of behavior, sila, and practice, vata, as purification that knots the two bodies. Idam sacha binivesa kayaganta. Firmly holding one's view alone is true and others are empty. That view knots the two bodies. Herein, the three akusala cetasikas, lobha, dosa, and ditti, are mentioned as ganta. Ditti alone is classified into two: silabata and idam sachabinivisa.
Okay, thank you. Now, okay, I will ask question. Brother Lee. All right. So we have the Abhijja, Vyapada, Silabata Paramasa, Idam Sacha. Such is a two-word. Idam Sacha Abhinivesa. All right. So, Brother Lee, yes. Now, in ultimate realities, there's only three: Lobha, Dosa, Ditti. So you have to find out which is Lobha, which is Dosa, and which is Ditti.
The
First one is
Abhijja is
Abhijja is
Lobha.
okay.
Lobha.
Okay. So the second one, Vyapada is
Second one is Dosa because it's hatred.
okay. Okay. The third one is
Silabata is Ditti
Okay. What is Ditti? Ditti is
and wrong view.
wrong view. Okay. So number 4 is
They
Is DT
number.
as well.
Yes. Okay. So in ultimarities, there's only
Is
3
DT.
akusala cetasika, lobha, dosa, ditti. Okay. So come to Ganta, the is different from earlier on. Okay. Earlier on is 3, but here is also different 3. Here is lobha, abhija. Okay. We see this abhija when we see the 10 akusala. Right? It's a manokama. Vyapada, all right, hatred. Okay. Sila bata. Sila here is not it's not like 5 precepts sila, but sila here means behavior. Practice is wata. So sila and wata. So V here, the V change it to B. All right. V change to B and B become double. So you got sila bata. Paramasa is kind of like you grasp on it. So grasp on the wrong behavior, wrong practice as purification. Now idam is like this. Sacha is true. Uh, Abhinivesisa is holding. This is true. This means that you believe that your your view about something is true. Other people are not true. So these are not two bodies. So the bodies here means mental body, physical body. It means that actually just simple word, not your nama and rupa. Okay, nama rupa. Mental body is nama, physical body is rupa. Ultimarities is only 3. Lobha, dosa, ditti. So these are mentioned and ganta. Ganta means not. Okay, so we look at the other book. Okay. So okay, Jen Eng, can you read? Sister Jen Eng, Singapore, yes.
Yes, Ajit.
Yes, okay.
Start from the four bodily note, is it?
You can read the
You
guide.
will-
Yeah, guide, yes, okay.
The guide. Okay, the bodily note are so called because they tie to the mind, to the body, or the present body to bodies in future existence. Here, the term body, kaya, applied to both the mental and physical body in the sense of an aggregations. Of the four notes, covetous means craving or greed, which pulls being towards desirable objects. It will. Ill will. Ill will is identical with the cetasika hatred, which is manifested as aversions towards undesirable objects. Adherence to rites and ceremonies is the belief that the performance of rituals constitutes the means to liberations. Dogmatic belief is a firm conviction that one's own view is the only truth and all other views are false. The last two bodily knots are both aspects of the Cetasika wrong view.
Okay, thank you. All right, now you can see here, the first one is covetousness, this avijja, all right, craving. Because beings, we always desire, we always like the beautiful, good things. So beings towards the desirable object. Now, second one is evil, vyapada, hatred, evil. So even though it's a evil, but people have this aversion, all right? Sometimes we can say, even though you dislike something, you might have this not because your mind tie up to this aversion. You even you dislike somebody, your mind actually, in a way, also tie up to this person because you dislike that person. So the next one is this silabata paramasa. It's actually kind of like wrong practice. Believe it's going to lead to the liberation. Okay. Next one is another specific wrong view. Believe that this is true. Only one's view is true. Other things are false. Okay. So the first one, abhijja, covetousness, is lobha. Okay, second thing is a dosa. Vyapada is dosa. Then the dikti is this silabata paramasa. Okay. Okay. And then the next one, idam sacha. Idam sacha bi nivesesa kaya kanda. So this is a wrong view because you believe that your view is true, other people's views are false. Okay. So our ultimate reality is only three, lobha, dosa, dikti. So that's the meaning of ganda, not. So we can get the numbers here, definition here. We can get the explanation from the Bhikkhu Bodhi book. And let's look for the another book. So after this, I will stop. Let us finish this one first. Okay, now Ganda. Right. They tie being to samsara, all right? Not that's why they translate the word not or tying. So they tie the nama kaya lupa kaya. They actually just mean that just now it mentioned the word two bodies. Two bodies means the mental body, physical body. Just means that your nama kaya to lupa kaya means that your nama lupa. So they tie the being to samsara. Okay. The rest is actually right. And the first one, abhijja. Okay. Abhijja we find in the 10 unwholesome action. There's a one covetousness, right? So it's under the manokama, you will find the word abhijja, right? So actually the meaning of abhijja means covetousness for others, people's belonging. You want the people's belonging to be your own belongings. You want the other person's property to be your property, right? So it's called Visama Lobha, unjust Lobha, or something like that. Okay, but here any Lobha is called Abhijja, not just Abhijja. Okay, and any attachment is called Abhijja Kaya Kanta. I think the rest is quite same. This one is actually quite interesting for us to know what it is Silabata Paramasa. Okay, next student. Okay. Hui Liu, can you read this one? Yeah.
Okay, Saji. The third one is Silabata Paramasa Kaya Ganta, the bodily knot of adherence to rites and ceremonies. Sila is one word and bata, it comes from vata, another word. When these words are compounded, the word becomes sila bata. Sila means habit, bata means practice. Paramasa means understanding wrongly. So the wrong understanding of sila and bata is called sila bata paramasa kaya ganta. That means the wrong understanding that sila and bata can lead us to the purification of mind and lead us to end all suffering. Here we must understand sila and bata because the English translation of adherence to rites and ceremonies is not so satisfactory. It is explained in the commentaries that sila here means the habit of cattle, the habit of dogs, and so on. Vata means the same thing. What it really means here is if you believe that if you behave in the way cows behave, if you live like cows live, if you eat like cows, and so on, then you will get freedom from mental defilements. You will get out of samsara. If you believe that, it is silabata paramasa. The same is true if you behave like a dog, eat like a dog, sleep like a dog, and so on. If you believe that these practices will lead you to purification of mind and so on, then you have this silabata paramasa. We must understand in the way I have explained here, following the explanation, in the way I have explained here, following the explanation given,
Yeah.
given
In the
in the
commentary.
commentary.
Yes.
That is because if we just say rites and ceremonies, we will have many questions. Bowing down to the Buddha, chanting, sharing merit, and so on are some sort of rites and ceremonies. Here, sila and vata do not mean this. Sila here means the habit of cattle, dogs, animals, and others. I think you remember about two men who went to the Buddha and asked about this practice of the cow and the practice of the dog. They asked if it was true that they would gain purification and so on. So you can read this in Majjhima Nikaya 7 and 78. The Buddha said if you practice to the full the practice of a cow, you will become a cow. If you practice to the full the habit of a dog, you will become a dog. If you do not practice to the full, you will go to hell or something like that. Such belief that such practices can lead to nibbana, that such practices can lead to the purification of mind, is called Silabata Paramasa. Sayaji.
Yeah,
You see.
continue. Yes.
If we
Yes.
extend this, if you extend this to include some other things, we may say beliefs that dharana alone will lead you to enlightenment, or sila alone will lead you to enlightenment, are also silabata paramasa. Dharana alone cannot lead you directly to enlightenment. Sila alone cannot lead you directly to enlightenment. You have to practice bhavana. You have to practice vipassana to reach those states. If you believe just by chanting, or just by giving, or just by making donation, just by listening to the Dhamma, and so on, you can get enlightenment. Then you have this Silabata Paramasa. Although you do not believe in the practice of cows and dogs, and so on, this is a wrong view. And so it is actually ditthi.
Okay. So up to here, we already see the definition and explanation for this Silabata Paramasa, like practice of dogs and cat. Believe that by practicing like this, but the Buddha say here, if practice fully the practice of cow, somebody will become the cow. You know, you think about it, it's very strange, right? Because when the person, his mind is thinking about like cow, he behave like cow, and he clings so much to the cow. So when he pass away, his nimitta will take as a cow. So that means that he see a cow before he pass away. So he born as a cow, right? So if somebody practice a dog, means that he sleep on the ground. When people offer him food, he had to eat uh not on the platform, just put on the maybe on the floor and eat on the floor. And he sleep like dog, sleep naked and walk around four-legged like dogs. So he totally behave like a dog, and his mind wanted to be a dog. So when he practice fully, he become a dog. Because before he pass away, his nimitta, his object before dying will be, we learn the karma process, right? So we know that the process of dying, when he see the last process, it will be taking the dog image. So he become a dog. But if he do not practice fully, this means that he does not succeed to become a dog. But because of wrong view, he believes that such practice will lead to nibbana, or such wrong view, so he will go to hell. So this means that if for people who have this practice, the Buddha say two possibility. One, become an animal. Second, go to hell. So it's a very bad practice, this one. Silabata Paramasa. Okay. So this is the one. And here also say, if you do dana, even though you are doing good deeds, but you don't practice. So you have wrong view. You just believe in chanting. I think nowadays, other Buddhist sect, by chanting the Buddha, whatever, they go to the heaven and so on. All these are wrong view. Okay. We still need to practice meditation to lead to enlightenment, right? If not, you have wrong view also. So the last one is this one. Idam Sacha. It's a two word. Idam Sacha Abhinivesesa. Holding the is a Sacha is true. So you believe idam. Idam is this. This is true. My view is true. Other view is wrong. So abhinivesa means strong view. Okay. So it's a kind of like strong dogmatic view. It's really you reject the view of other people. Okay. So this is called idam sacha. Idam sacha b nivesesa kaya ganda. I think the interesting one will be this Silabata Paramasa. Okay. So later we have a break, 5 minutes. Then later I will share this sutta again. This sutta is actually interesting. I think this mention this one. This kuku Rawatika Sutta. Okay, we will break 5 minutes, then we continue, right? Okay, now we are going to this. This sutta is actually very interesting. Kukula, dog. Wata, like just on the word wata plus ika. Wata is a duty, okay? Somebody who has a dog duty, right? It's from the Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 57. Yeah. There are strange people around the Buddha's time believing in the strange things, all right? Okay, now, so I need somebody who are very good in English. This is a story here. Sharon? Sharon, can you read? Yes.
Yes, Ayaji.
Okay.
Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living in the Koliyan country. There's a town of the Koliyans called Halidavasana. Then Puna, a son of the Koliyans and an ox-duty ascetic, and also Seniya, a naked dog-duty ascetic, went to the Blessed One, and Puna, the ox-duty ascetic, paid homage to the Blessed One and sat down at one side, while Seniya, the naked dog-duty ascetic, exchanged greetings with the Blessed One. And when the courteous and amiable talk was finished, he too sat down at the side, curled up like a dog. When Puna, the ox-duty ascetic, sat down, he asked the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, this naked dog-duty ascetic, Seniya, does what is hard to do. He eats his food when it's thrown on the ground. That dog duty has long been taken up and practiced by him. What will be his destination? What will be his future course? Enough, Puna. Let that be. Do not ask me that. A second time, a third time, Puna, the ox-duty ascetic, asked the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, this naked dog-duty ascetic Seniya does what is hard to do. He eats his food when it's thrown on the ground. That dog duty has long been taken up and practiced by him. What will be his destination? What will be his future course? Well, Puna, since I certainly cannot persuade you when I say enough, Puna, let that be, do not ask me that, I shall therefore answer you. Here, Puna, someone develops the dog duty fully and instinctively. He develops the dog habit fully and instinctively. He develops the dog mind fully and instinctively. He develops dog behavior fully and instinctively. Having done that, on the dissolution of the body after death, he reappears in the company of dogs. But if his views is such as this, by the virtue or duty or asceticism or religious life, I shall become a great god or some lesser god. That is the wrong view in his case. Now, there are two destinations from one with the wrong view. I say hell or the animal womb. So Puna, if his dog duty is perfected, it will lead him to the company of dogs. If it is not, it will lead him to hell. When this was said, Seniya, the naked dog duty ascetic, wept and shed tears. Then the Blessed One told Puna, son of the Koliyans and the ox duty ascetic, Puna, I could not persuade you when I said, enough, Puna, let that be. Do not ask me that. Venerable Sir, I am not weeping that the Blessed One has spoken thus. Still, this dog duty has long been taken up and practiced by me. Venerable Sir, there is this Puna, a son of the Koliyans and an ox on duty ascetic. That ox duty has long been taken up and practiced by him. What will be his destination? What will be his future course? Enough, Seniya, let that be. Do not ask me that. A second time, a third time, Seniya, the naked dog duty ascetic, asked the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, there is this Puna, a son of the Koliyans and an ox duty ascetic. That ox duty has long been taken up and practiced by him. What will be his destination? What will be his future course? Well, Seniya, since I certainly cannot persuade you when I say enough, Seniya, let that be, Do not ask me that. I shall therefore answer you. Here's Sania. Someone develops the ox duty fully and unstintingly. He develops the ox habit fully and unstintingly. He develops the ox mind fully and unstintingly. He develops the ox behavior fully and unstintingly. Having done that, on the dissolution of the body, after death, he reappears in the company of oxen. But if his view is as such, by the virtue or duty or asceticism or religious life, like I shall become a great god or some lesser god, that is wrong view in his case. Now, there are two destinations for one with wrong view. I say hell or the animal womb. So, Saniya, if his ox duty is perfected, it will lead him to the company of oxen. If it is not, it will lead him to hell. When this was said, Puna, a son of the Collians and an ox duty ascetic, wept and shed tears. Then the Blessed One told Senia, the naked dog duty ascetic, Senia, I could not persuade you when I said, enough, Senia, let that be. Do not ask me that. Venerable sir, I am not weeping that the Blessed One has spoken thus. Still, this ox duty has long been taken up and practiced by me. Venerable sir, I have confidence in the Blessed One. Thus, the Blessed One is capable of teaching me the Dharma in such a way that I may abandon this ox duty, and that this naked dog duty ascetic Saniya may abandon that dog duty.
Okay,
Then,
thank you
Puna.
very much. Thank you very much, Sister Sharon. You read very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we can see this is really from the Buddha's story, from this Kukula, the Buddha talking to somebody who practice like dog, and another person practice like, okay, this Sineya, all right? He's called naked dog ascetic because he actually don't wear, did not wear any clothes, naked. And he behave like dog. You can see when he talked to the Buddha, he curled like a dog, and he eat the food but not on the plate. What is thrown on the ground? On the green ground, people give him the food, he just eat on those on the ground. So if he practice for a long time, what will be his future destination? So the Buddha already say, because remember we are talking about this one, Silabata Paramasa. It's a dikti, wrong view. Wrong view of one behavior, his a dog behavior, another one doing the cow behavior and dog behavior and then the cow behavior. They thought that what they believe their practice is a purification, but actually this is wrong view. So when they're successful, what happened? Okay, so what does the Buddha say? Now, if somebody he developed means that he behave like dog, he sleep like dog, eat like dog, he's actually naked like dog, and then his mind behavior like this, the mind also naked like this, the mind also behave like dog, he think like dog, so behavior like dog, mind also like dog. So after he passed away, of course he born as a dog. You know why? Because he's before he passed away, the mind have the nimitta, the dog nimitta. He only see the dog, so he catch the image of the dog and born as a dog. But if he have a wrong view, he thought this is a purification, this practice will lead him to better place, better as a god and so on. So for those with wrong view, either go to hell or go to animal. Okay. But if he as a dog, then he will be definitely a dog, right? So this is this wrong view. So another person behave like cow. Okay. So same also, if he develop this behavior fully, also with the mind fully as a ox, cow, and then he will appear in the company of oxen. Okay. And he have the wrong view, he will be either in go to hell or animal womb. Right. So this is called under this sutta, this is called Silabata Paramasa Kaya Kanta. Misconception of the behavior and practice wrong view, right? So this is actually very interesting sutta to read. in the Majjhima. So if you have the Majjhima book, you look back Majjhima Nikaya, Middle Length Discourse 57. All right, so let us continue the next one. So any question? If not, we will continue. So remember anyway, the first one abhijja is loba. Vyapada, hatred is dosa. This one silabata paramasa, wrong practice is a dikti. Idam sacha binivesa is also dikti. So ultimately it will be loba, dosa, and dikti. So next one will be upadana. All right, you see this upadana in the five aggregates. So we call it our five aggregates, the five aggregates of clinging. So the word upadana. Actually, it's two words. Upa, all right, the word upa plus adana. Dana, dana means give. If you have the adana with the negative a means take. So adana is take with the upa. So you take strongly. When you take strongly, it means clinging. All right. So it developed to five, divided to four. Kama plus upadana. Dikti plus upadana. Now this silabata, okay, you will see this silabata already here, okay? Here also got silabata. Silabata plus upadana. Next one will be atta wada plus upadana. So kama upadana. Kama is a sensual pleasure. So upadana is clinging or craving here. Actually, craving and clinging. Craving means not so strong. Clinging is actually stronger. So craving for sensual pleasure, that is in the state of clinging. Clinging means stronger craving. Diti is wrong view. Wrong view that is in the state of clinging. Silabatu padana. Wrong view on behavior and practice. Like just now we see the dog behavior, cow behavior, or any wrong practice. Okay, not just cow and things, but like in Buddha time, somebody worship the fire. They thought worship the fire, or sometimes in the very cold season, they jump to the Ganges River. They thought like the Ganges River can wash away the sin. So all these are wrong practice because they thought this practice lead to purification or to nibbana. Now next one is attawada. Attawada is to do with this wrong view about atta. Atta itself. So kama, all right. So it's loba, right? Dikti is dikti. Okay. So the first one is, so if you had to write, you write yourself. Okay. So this is loba. Okay. Second one is dikti. Silabata, of course, is dikti. Next one also dikti. All right. So first one is loba. The rest others are dikti. Dikti alone is classified into three. All right. So dikti, silabata, atawada. So this is a three is a dikti, but they have different mode. Right. So Dittupada refer to Natika Dikti. Nati means like Ati is exists, so Nati is does not exist. So it's kind of wrong view that believe that the karma, effect of karma does not exist. That means that if like somebody do good, he doesn't believe there's a result of good. Or when he doing bad, he also does not believe that there's a result of bad. So there's an effect of karma does not exist. So this called Natika. So sila batu padana. Alright, sila batu upadana. So refer to just now the wrong view that animal behavior or practice lead to purification. This one already mentioned just now. Bovine, cow practice, oxen practice, canine, okay, dog practice. One can purify mental defilements. So atta wada, atta wadu padana refer to the view of atta itself. Okay. So this one now, let's look at the Biko body, all right? Clinging, all right? So this four. So let's look at the text just now. So this is the text here. Okay, so let's look at the fundamental. Yeah, there are too much document here. Okay. So you have this karma, wrong view, and then the rights and rituals, and then this dot itself. Okay. Okay, somebody read. Ashin Chanda, you want to read? Yes. Are you around? Okay. Okay, if he not around, let's look for next one. Okay, Sister Jacqueline. Yeah. Okay. Can you read this one? Yes. You can read the guide number 7.
She hasn't unmute the button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can hear you now. Yes.
Of the four
Okay.
kinds of cleaning, the first may be understood as intensified craving for sense pleasures. Through the commentaries point out that this kind of cleaning can also be understood more broadly as craving for any of the things of the world. Clinging to the wrong view is the adoption of any of the morally pernicious views such as nihilism, fatalism, etc., or any of the speculative views about the aspect of the eternal or non-eternal existence, the world, etc. Clinging to rites and ceremonies is the wrong view that the performance of rites and rituals or the understanding of aesthetic practices and related observances can lead to liberation. Clinging to a doctrine of self is the adoption of personality view, Sakaya Ditti. The identification of any of the five aggregates as a self or the accessories of a self. Suttas mention 20 types of personality view. These are obtained by considering each of the five aggregates in 4 ways. Thus, one regards materiality as self or self as possessing materiality, or materiality as in self or self as in materiality. The same is repeated with respect to feeling, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. The clinging to sense pleasure is the clinging to
Sense pressures. Okay.
clinging to sense pleasure is a manifestation of greed, and other 3 clingings are modes of the classical wrong view.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Jacqueline. All right. So this one already mentioned. This is a loba. So dikti. All right. So just now the wrong view. Now here is mentioned there are few types of wrong view. So nihilism is just now this one. Don't believe in karma and so on. Fatalism normally refer to believe that things are fixed forever, or anything believe that the world is eternal, the world is forever, or believe that after we pass away, there's no more life. So this called non-eternal. So cleans to rites and ceremony is this one, silabata, okay? Silabatu padana, like the cow, behave like cow and dog, okay, this one. Because they thought this can lead to liberation. So this one we already mentioned just now. So this is actually same with the earlier one. So we already mentioned just now. So the next one is this one, atawada, okay? This is more on the Sakaya Ditti. So we know that only when person reach the first enlightenment, they can eradicate this Sakaya Ditti, wrong view on personality belief. So is you believe or identify any of the 5 aggregates as a self, as a atta, or accessories means part of atta, right? So in Sutta, we have 20 ways of personality belief. So each of the 5 aggregates we can see, material as self. This means that you believe your body is a self, or your this self means has possess the materiality, means possess the body, or the body is in a self, or the this self atta is in the body, right? So and so on, repeat for the feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. So in 20 ways means that 5 aggregates times these 4 ways of seeing, then you get this sakayaditi. So this paragraph here mentioned the meaning of this atta wada plus upadana, clinging to the idea or the belief of self, right? So anyway, the first one is only karma is always craving. So the first one is loba. Then the rest, ditti, silabata, also ditti. Silabata plus upadana, silabatu upadana, also ditti. And the next one is this is a cling to self. So I think most people who are not enlightened will definitely have this silabata. And normally a Buddhist will not have this one because you do not have this wrong view. But we definitely will have this wrong view of self. Okay. So this is anything about like just now, Dikti is the one that just now mentioned about believe the world is forever, eternal, not eternal, reject the karma and so on. So this is under the Diktu Padana. And then this is actually quite deep also. Okay, so I will stop here. So any questions on any part?
Taiji, about the shell, the wrong view on cell in the 4 ways, right?
Yeah, right.
Can you explain again? I don't understand. The 4 looks like the same.
Oh, okay. So first, materiality means your body. You take the body as atta. Okay. Take the when you see the body, your body, you think the body is self. So that means that you don't think that the some people will think that okay, we use the word atta, okay, self atta. Somebody will believe that your atta is inside the body, right? That's one belief. But here is no. They thought that the body is atta itself. All right. Okay. So second one is the atta. Atta has the body. I think everybody will take it right. Believe that your atta has the body. So body is inside this atta, in a way you can say like that. All right. So next one is atta is big, but the body is inside the atta. Atta is a bigger, so the body is inside the atta. So that's the meaning. The next one is opposite way. Body self is small, atta is small. Uh, inside the body is a bigger. So all these are wrong view. Okay. We also think that why the people in the last time they have all sort of peculiar wrong view like this. It's very puzzle. All these are wrong view. Alright. So anyway, if you cannot think about it, it doesn't matter because all these are wrong view. But wrong view means that they think in the wrong way. So as a Buddhist, maybe we don't even understand why they think in this clear way. But I think most people will believe that our atta has the body, possess the material. Materiality means the atta has the body. People will believe in this way because they thought the atta is invisible, but this atta can have the body. Most people will believe in this. All right, so we will continue the
Then
hindrances
the
and so on. Yes.
Taiji, the cell
Yes.
as possessing materiality and materiality as in cell, is it the same?
No.
No. Ah.
Materiality as in self. This means the self is bigger. Materiality is inside it. Material is smaller. Okay, we take it like a box, a container, and you put a flower inside a container. Okay, there's a container and you put a flower inside a container, right? So for the flower inside a container, the flower must be smaller, right or not? Okay, so this is talking about the lupa, the materiality is smaller, then it can fit inside the cell. The self must be bigger. Okay? So which is bigger, which is smaller? That's a sense. Right. So anyway, that's how we're going to learn Abhidhamma. Okay. So I think now we have more students. So before we do the sharing, Mary, so can I request you all can open your video again? So we will record because normally I will know the first class will be more people. Sooner or later, before end of class, most people will disappear. Okay, so we everybody turn on video. We have a screenshot again. Okay. Sabbe sata sukita hontu avera hontu abhya pacha hontu aniga hontu suki atanam paliharantu dukkha mucyantu yada lada sampadito mavigachantu kamasaka udam yawa bhavagacha aduyawa avichito samanta chakawalisu ye sata pata vichara abhyapaja niveraja nidukaja nupadawa udam yawa bhavagacha aduyawa avichito samanta chakawaliso ye sata udake cara abhyapaja niveraja nidukaja nupadawa udam yawa bhavagacha aduyawa avichito samanta chakawalesu ye sata akase chara. Okay, we share memories with the all beings. Imano punya bagam sabha satanam dema Imano punya bagam sabha satanam dema Imano punya bagam sabha satanam dema. Okay. Idam no yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Okay, let's make aspiration with the Satipatthana. Adahimaya Patipadaya Jaramaranam ha parimuchisami idam me punyam ashawakaya waham hotu idam me punyam nipanasa pachayo hotu idam me silam Magapalanyana sapachayo hotu. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you for joining in the class. All right, so I think you all have a good holiday for 2 months.